entrepreneur. Okay, when life throws you tough situations, you can either let it break you or you can use it as fuel to propel you to your next phase in life. After being laid off from work, suffering a series of medical struggles, and losing her grandmother, Darien Moore decided it was time to reassess her life, and rather than let her circumstances define her, she shifted her focus to pursuing her dream of becoming an entrepreneur and launched Fatbaby's home and body fragrances. And Darien joins me to share her story of resilience. Good morning, and I love a story of resilience. How are you?
Good morning, Jane. I'm great. How are you?
I'm really, really good. Okay, you went through some very tough times. You were diagnosed with MS. Tell us a little bit about that time in your life and what your doctor told you that helped you shift to a positive direction, because I think it could be helpful for a lot of our viewers.
Yes, I was 31 years old when I was actually diagnosed, and I was climbing. I had a 13-year career in higher education and climbing up the ladder. I had my goals set, working on my MBA, and I lost my vision 1 year. Lost it again the year after, and I continued to work, although I had to take that time off. But the shock of going through something like that, and for someone who is extremely independent, have facing the possibility of losing your independence is not easy, not at all. And it was shocking. It really hit me hard, but I kept going, stayed in it, and a few years later, I suffered an exacerbation shortly after the mass layoff that rendered me unable to work for well over a year. And during that time, I was going through the recovery process. And even after I was able to kind of get back into the swing of things, the recovery process was extremely slow. And it took a while longer before I actually got back to close to 100%. And I had to make some really hard decisions. I suffered several hard losses. My grandmother was my heart, and my sister-in-law, who's like my sister, and my aunt, and things just kept going back to back. Just things just kept compounding and happening over and over. And I had to make the decision, I have to recover. I have to get through this. And something is going to have to change. Either I can let this hold me back and ruin me for the rest of the life that I have left, or I can take it and use it to propel me into the next phase in life.
And I think so many people would identify with that, of having problems. So how did that propel you into Scents and Fatbaby's home and body? How was the connection made?
So one of the things that my doctor, the doctor who actually diagnosed me, she would tell me, do something every day that made you feel good. And she's like, it changes your perspective. And for people who have been diagnosed with a chronic, major, some were those who may have been diagnosed with a terminal illness, for the life that you have, you want to better the quality of life. And one way to do that is to change your perspective and look at things in a positive light. So do things every day that make you feel good and shift your perspective into a positive perspective.
I love that.
And one of those things, yes, it's been major for me. And one of those things for me was fragrance. We have those atmosphere setters. Everybody loves music. I know you love your hip hop. Everybody loves music. And for me, it's music and fragrance.
Okay, well, you've been kind enough to give us some of your bath salts and fragrances and oils. You do these, you have customers who come in and do these in your store. So could you help me put together a bath salt that would be something similar to what someone could do at Fatbaby's?
Yes, ma'am. So you have your samples. You have several of the salts, and I provided you with a little cheat sheet. One of the things in self-care, one of the biggest things that we do is take a hot bath. We know that. And, for years and years, growing up, we've known Epsom salt was a major thing that we used to
so I'm going to start with the salt.
So you have your salt, right? And all the salts each have different benefits. You have your Dead Sea salts. You have their Sierra salt, which is an Atlantic sea salt, Euro Spa salt, which is a Mediterranean sea salt. But You choose, and there are different benefits to each one. For today, what I've done in my mixture, or what I'm doing, is putting a couple scoops of each, and you can take your serving cup, and you have your big bowl. So we're going to take those and combine them.
Okay, so I've already put my salt in. So if I put my salt in, this is jasmine, this is rose, citrus, and cornflower. I'm going to use rose because I think that
you want to use rose?
Well, yeah, I'm going to use the rose. So I have my salt.
Rose is amazing. Yes.
Okay, now I have my rose. Okay, now tell me, what are the oils that I have in front of me?
So in front of you, you have eucalyptus, lavender, grapefruit, and peppermint.
So I'm going to put a little bit of that
in. Yes.
Okay.
And it's just like cooking.
Oh, this is wonderful. This is a citrus, so the citrus with the rose. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in.
Yes, and you'll know if it becomes overwhelming.
Oh, that just smells. Oh, it smells delightful.
Doesn't it smell delightful?
Okay, and
one of my favorite blends is lavender and mint.
Oh, I bet that's really, really nice. So what's your most popular?
So one of the most popular is the lavender and mint. Grapefruit is gaining popularity. Grapefruit is actually pretty awesome. You've had the opportunity to smell it. It's amazing. And it's revitalizing and uplifting.
I think this would be so much fun to come to Fatbaby's and do your own bath salts to put under the tree for your best friends, for your daughter, whatever. Where did the name Fatbaby's come from?
I was a fat baby. I was fat. I was very fat. And then I had these tight eyes, so I smiled and my eyes would close up and everybody got a kick out of it. My godfather started calling me Fat Baby, and it stuck.
I love that.
And you hate it initially, but it wasn't going anywhere. So I had to learn to just embrace it. And I ended up naming the business Fatbaby's, and it's a great conversation.
That's wonderful. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate your time and appreciate what you've done with your life. Thank you. Fatbaby's is located inside Knickknacks, an antique mall in Duncanville. You can also find them online at ilovefatbabies.com or on Instagram at ilovefatbabies.